made some dank-ass banana bread! Lately, I've been living in a lot of fear that I am developing agoraphobia.
Hello and good morning.
I'm still pretending that I'm grooving to the intro, even though we haven't been able to monitor our own audio in a week. We don't know why.
Everything's probably fine.
Look, here's the thing. First of all, welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
Second of all, computer science is not a science. Computer science is a feeling.
And dealing with stream software is also not computer science.
No, it's even more removed from computer science.
Definitively not science.
Which is the most sciencey part of working with computers.
And no science. There's no science here.
There's no science. There's no science here.
And if there was, I think we'd be very good at it.
You can get all the science you need on We Have Concerns with me and Jeff Kanata every
Damn.
Friday. Science comedy podcast.
3 minutes
award-winning.
in.
That's right.
Hitting those early plugs today.
Listen, you say science, I say thank you, Ronan, because Ronan was quick on the draw with that link. Listen, BBs.
Hi.
First of all, hello.
Good to see you.
Second of all, it's good to see you. Third of all, how are you? Fourth of all, happy Horizon Forbidden West Day.
Yeah.
I have pre-downloaded it.
Nice.
It is saved. It is ready to go. I was going to play some last night, and then you know what? Sleep instead.
That is smart.
Sleep instead. But I will be playing it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. The game looked good.
You almost said tonight. Said tonight.
Well, no, I didn't almost say tonight. I almost said this afternoon. I was thinking about maybe squeezing it in between this and failed save. But we'll see how I'm feeling. I was going to ask you, Horizon Forbidden West, do you plug in a PS5 for it?
Yeah, I'm going to plug in my PS5 for it.
Are you really?
I think I am. Look, all of this right now is dependent on time.
Sure.
I am currently in the middle, and people who typically watch my stream that hasn't happened in over a week will be aware of this. I'm having the busiest month of my life.
First of all, congrats.
Thank you. I'm so tired.
I know it doesn't feel like congrats when you're in the midst of it.
Yes.
But congrats. I feel you. I get it. I totally understand. But maybe you should plug in your PS5 for this.
It feels kind of fucked up that during the busiest month of my life, they released 3 games.
Arceus,
Horizon Forbidden West,
and
then Elden Ring.
Yeah, here's the thing. You gotta start playing Elden Ring today because we have a week.
Elden Ring is not today.
No, Elden Ring is the 25th.
The 25th.
You have a week to finish Horizon
yeah.
before Elden Ring comes out. And that actually brings us to our first piece of news today. Do you know what else comes out on the same day as Elden Ring? You might say, Whomst. Whomst would have the gall. Whomst would have the chutzpah.
Uh-huh.
The mishigas.
It's a lot of chutzpah.
Baby, they got chutzpah. They
and
got
both of them.
They got chutzpah to spare.
Who does?
Nintendo does. On the same day as Elden Ring, Nintendo, you didn't see shit. You didn't see shit, and if you did, I'm going to call my attorney. Nintendo is releasing Majora's Mask on the Switch expansion pass on the same day as Elden Ring.
Ooh.
Which I think is kind of hilarious and wonderful.
The way I see it is, I think typically a lot of people would rush to play Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
But, Majora's Mask will be there. It's always been there.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's on Switch, and that's great. But I think that might bury it in the news cycle a little bit.
I think Majora's Mask is sort of is very much like a baby from software thing. It's not, and I don't mean that in a pejorative.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you liked Majora's Mask as a kid, it's a majorative, not a pejorative. If you liked Majora's Mask as a kid,
Mhm.
you probably enjoy From Software games now.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the thing about Nintendo where Nintendo just doesn't give a shit. You watch the race back and forth between Microsoft and Sony, and you watch them like watching what each other are doing and trying to actively compete. And then Nintendo's just over here vibing. Doesn't even know what's going on. What, are they putting more stuff on Game Pass?
See, I think
That's pretty cool.
Nintendo does know what's going on, and I think this is actually very clever. Because if you're somebody who is a Nintendo person, like a lot of people in the live studio audience here are saying, I don't know if there's a lot of Venn diagram. The Venn diagram is Elden Ring comes out.
Mhm.
Everybody talks about the cool dark fantasy game that they're playing right now. And you go,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Oh, man, you know what was great? You know what was a great dark fantasy game? Probably like the granddaddy of all the dark fantasy games. Majora's Mask. I could go for some Majora's Mask right now.
Yeah.
It's for people who don't want to dive into Elden Ring,
Mm.
but when they're put in the mood of a dark fantasy,
Yeah.
they go, ooh. You
Yeah.
remember when the little boy had to travel through time because the mean moon was going to eat him?
Yeah. It's a lot of people, yeah, a lot of people in the chat being like, I don't think those intersect. Hi, we're the intersection.
Yeah, we are exactly the intersection.
We're both very excited for Elden Ring and also super fucking stoked and gonna replay Majora's Mask. Love
still-
Majora's Mask.
I'm still halfway through a replay of Majora's Mask.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. Look, if you're waiting for me to finish that,
Crammed in a lot of Zelda.
I got Elden Ring. We got Horizon. We got Arceus.
It'll be known as Zelden Ring Day.
Zelden Ring.
Izzy!
I didn't do anything. You didn't see anything. I thought, you know what's wild? Is I looked right at the screen and I thought we were on our main shot. Listen,
I just
BBs,
look a lot like Link.
BBs, let me tell you something. Number one, you do. You do look like a small elven child.
True.
And number two, I don't know, man.
Number 3, guys, I got new glasses.
Can we get a slow zoom in on Saige? Can I get a can I just get like a soft filter and we'll just zoom in on Saige, like sparkles? Can we add sparkles? That'd be great.
I don't know.
Can we get the anime waifu filter, please?
I don't know. You hadn't noticed yet, so I thought I would.
Are you caught up on Ranking of Kings? Have you even watched Ranking of Kings yet?
No, what the hell is that?
Fuck,
I
dude.
haven't heard of this. What are you talking about?
Fuck, dude. We were just talking about like good fantasy elf anime, whatever, and I just thought about Ranking of Kings. You gotta watch Ranking of Kings.
What the fuck is it?
It's very good anime. It's the sweetest, coolest anime I've seen in a million years. It's adorable.
Okay.
They just started season 2. It's only got 13 episodes to catch up.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Yeah, it's very small catch up. Fucking
All right.
Ranking. Lots of kittens in the live studio audience knows what's up. The way it subverts fairy tale tropes. It looks like an early 80s storybook children's anime.
Fun.
They draw it exactly that way. And it is not that. And it is so good. But we'll talk about Ranking of Kings on another day. I want to talk about, because it is, of course, Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
We got to talk about Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, that seems like it makes sense to me.
First of all, it's been getting great reviews.
Yes.
People are really loving it. Second of all, Digital Foundry did their tech comparison, as they always do. We love Digital Foundry here. Wonderful bunch of folks, and they did their big comparison between the 3 different PlayStations. When you say PlayStation, you have to say it in the weird accent of the original PlayStation commercials. You have to go PlayStation. And the reason I want to show this off is not because when you look at it, you're like, ooh, the PS5 is so shiny and new and crazy, and like, I got to get a new PS5. Or we're dunking on the PS4 or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's because this really, more than anything, we were talking about how cross-generational games are probably holding games back.
Yeah.
Guerrilla Games has done such an amazing job on this, no matter which PlayStation you own. So I just want to show off a couple comparisons here that we have. First of all, here's the opener with the PS5 and the PS4 Pro. We'll just take a little look. There's not here. I'll do one of these, and then I'll do, I don't know, like that.
Yeah, I guess that's the move.
That's the move. What is the resolution? Blah 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 blah. The thing is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
This. Wow.
Now,
Fucking wow.
now, are you gonna see differences if you pixel peep like Digital Foundry does? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, that's their job. Their job is to pixel peep.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. Guerrilla Games has done such an amazing job. This is like zoomed in 400% on a PS4 Pro. And what they're trying to show off here is there's slightly different shading algorithms on the foliage on the PS4 version to make sure it takes up less processing time and
Wow.
less video. Everything is dynamic in this game.
Wow.
So it looks really beautiful. Even on the base PS4, the game looks incredible.
I'm so happy to see that.
Yeah, me too. This is where they talk about how you can focus shaders in a game. So you can render some parts of a screen or some parts of a game on the PS4 or the PS5 at a higher resolution than other parts of the screen. And Guerrilla Games puts that to use in a really excellent way. Listen, there's some stuff, like sometimes there are fewer clouds. Like, whatever.
I think at the end of the day, if you're playing it on a PS5, you're going to go, holy fucking shit, look at the quality.
Yeah.
And if you're playing on a PS4, you're not going to, like, notice the lack of that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, here is that sort of like the lower quality foliage on the PS4 Pro compared to the PS5. And baby, you ain't zooming in that far, and it ain't gonna be standing still like this.
It's still good looking foliage.
And it's great looking foliage either way. This is where they're showing things like, oh, the reflection mapping is a little different if you go underwater. Another thing that they noticed is, like, sometimes some things on the PS4 or the PS4 Pro aren't rendered in real time. They just use FMV.
Okay.
And you'll never notice because the way it loads in the FMV seamlessly, it looks like nothing. Here they're showing like level of detail differences and pop in from different.
The same.
It's the same. And I think that's so wonderful that, you know, it would be very easy for Sony and it would be very easy for Guerrilla Games to be like, look, if you want the best experience for this, you gotta get the 5.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it would be easy for them to throw away these other SKUs, and they don't. Now, the things that are different, obviously, on the PS5 has a high fidelity mode that runs at 4K 30,
right?
And that's actual 4K 30.
Mhm.
Then it has a performance mode that's 1800p at 60 frames a second. Now, 1800p at 60 frames a second is the high quality. At 30 frames a second is the high quality mode on the PS4 Pro.
Right.
And then the PS4, of course, doing its thing, baby, running at 1080 the best it can.
Hold up.
With dynamic resolution switching
Hold
that
up.
they say that you can't really notice when you're in game. I'm like, this is footage from the PS4. Hey, guess what? It's a pretty game.
It's a good looking game. It's a good looking PS4 game. I have no complaints.
So we're very excited about this. No matter how you decide to play Horizon, it looks like you're going to have a great experience doing so.
I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna plug it in, Anthony.
Wow. Let me tell you something. She's only done that for one other game, Horizon, and that game is Puzzle Bobble 3D. You're at Puzzle Bobble 3D level now, Guerrilla Games. I hope you're excited. It's Bub, it's Bob, it's Aloy.
Yeah. My people.
Those are your people.
Yeah.
Of course, in other Horizon news, this was something that was very lovely to see. There's a Chivo, a trophy that you get called Reached the Daunt. And everybody who gets Reached the Daunt unlocked before March 25th, for every player that gets that, In association with the Arbor Day Foundation, Sony will plant a tree on one of 3 different reforestation projects.
That's fantastic.
I think that's lovely.
I would love to see more things like this.
Now,
That's a wonderful use of in-game events.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And people were asking, they're like, okay, but like, how easy is it to get this achievement? How, like, blah, blah, blah. What about, like, how many people are going to find it? Am I going to use more electricity looking for the achievement than we... And Sony was like, tranquilo. Here's what's up.
Mhm.
This is one of those auto achievements you get when you get to a certain part in the story, and apparently it's very early on. And here's the other thing. Even if it was an achievement that took a long time to get, it's not like people are going to buy Horizon Zero Dawn and play it extra just to get that tree planted.
Right. Like, people are playing, and they can do something good when you play. That's cool. That's great. I do think it's important to be critical of large swings from large companies that seem like they're doing something for us when really it is entirely self-serving. I think this is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is nice. Instant Noodles in the live studio audience says that like it literally pops up right after the title sequence. Like you're gonna get it if you play.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that so much.
And look,
Great reason to plug in a PS5.
it's a great listen. It's not Bub or Bob, but it's something. Bub is the green one, and Bob is the blue one. That's a little mnemonic device you can use. I just think like obviously we're very anti-corporation. We're very anti-capitalist here. I don't know if you've watched the show. It's probably the reason why we still haven't had any advertising a year and a half into doing this. But here's what's up. There are a lot of people that are trying to cut this down as just a simple PR stunt. And it is a PR stunt.
Uh-huh.
But it's very rare that a PR stunt is a net good.
Right.
and doesn't cost people anything more than they were going to pay anyway. So I feel like, hey, man, let them do a little good.
Right. We've talked about this on the show before. A lot of people will discredit doing good for publicity. If the good gets done, I don't care why you did it.
Listen.
If it is a net good for the world, I don't care.
I mean, like, if you're being good just to get into heaven, I don't care. You're still being good. You know what I mean? That's how things have operated since the dawn of time.
Right.
If you're being good in order to get a treat, my dog still operates like that. It's cool as long as you're good.
Him.
We love my dog.
Everyone loves Dagger.
Everyone loves Dagger.
Be like Dagger. Be good.
So, and here's the other thing that we need to be very, very aware of, and I want to state this point because I think it's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Large corporations cannot be good.
No.
It's arguable that they could even be neutral if they wanted to.
Yes.
But there are people
mm-hmm.
like you and me who have to work within those large corporations because that's the way capitalism is. And a team of those people said, we know where we work, but we're not that.
Right.
What can we do?
Yeah.
Every day I come into work and I try to figure out what I can do to work within this system to make something better and pay my rent. And so when little things like this happen, we need to acknowledge that there are teams within these companies that are working to make these things happen that are trying to do the best they can. And I just like that.
I do too.
I got a thing?
Here, I got you. 'Cause that's what friends do. Be like Dagger, everybody.
Be like Dagger. Please try to be like Dagger.
I want to look at magic cards.
Yeah, we always want to look at magic cards.
I want to look at magic cards.
Today's a big day for magic cards.
It is a big day for magic cards. If you're familiar with Secret Lair is the more like art prints, essentially, much more limited, and they do not look in any way like the traditional Magic the Gathering style prints of cards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where they do a lot of pop culture collaborations as of late. Some that have been wonderful and people have been very excited about. Some people were very upset about, for instance, Fortnite.
Yeah, sure. Get mad.
Get mad. Don't buy the cards.
Don't buy the cards. But they've done some great ones. We talked about they've done Warhammer, they've done Arcane. They even did there was one that we really freaked out over. And I can't remember what it was right now. But they do some great limited edition collabs.
They do. So what we have now are the Secret Lair Street Fighter cards.
They put a little preview of the art, and then IGN got an actual full image of what these are going to look like, and it looks like Horizon Zero Dawn because technology, computer science isn't a science. But here are all the cards and their abilities. Guile, Sonic Soldier. When a legendary creature, human soldier, whenever Guile enters the battlefield or attacks, put a charge counter on him or remove one from him. When you remove a counter this way, choose either a Sonic Boom, which deals 4 damage to any target, or a Flash Kick, which gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn.
Hell yeah.
They really think these through, and that's what I love about them.
I love these. Look at that. It's very cool to see like WiiU on a Magic card, isn't it?
Yeah. Let me pop up Chun-Li here.
Please do.
Chun-Li, countless kicks. When Chun-Li enters the battlefield, exile up to X target instant cards from your graveyard, where X is the number of times Chun-Li was kicked. Put a kick counter on each of them. Whenever Chun-Li attacks, copy each exiled card you own with a kick counter on it. You may cast the copies.
Damn.
So she's got a powerful multi-turn attack there, which I really like.
Yeah, that's some high-level shit they gave Chun-Li.
Yeah. I love it. These are all very good. Yeah, E Honda's artwork is he's doing the car minigame. He's smashing up a car.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, that's so good. I love what they did here with the art. I really do think that this, like, there's some that I've seen where I'm like, oh, you printed the pop culture thing on Magic cards. And then this, to me, like, they look like Magic cards.
They do. I'll tell you this. For me, I would have loved to have seen some of that Udon art on these, but I do like that they went with traditional Magic style art. I think that makes it even more of a collaboration and a crossover.
Yeah.
Than just putting the style of art we would normally see onto cards, which they've done a couple times, and it's been interesting.
Yeah.
But this is kind of fun. My boy Ken is there. So this is it. They are up for pre-order now on the Secret Lair, I believe. It happens today. So if it has not happened already, it will later today.
It's happened already. It's probably selling out. Coming soon.
Ooh, 24 minutes. Everybody, set a timer.
It's 9 a.m. Pacific.
Set a timer.
If you're trying to get in on these, they do come in these like small boxes. The bundle full of foils.
Wow. Yeah, full foils. And then also the Neon Dynasty ink foil edition is dropping in 20. That's that Cyberpunk Ninja one.
Oh wow, interesting that Neon Dynasty is coming out the same day.
Yeah. And it looks like we're getting foil editions of Lil Walkers as well. Ooh, Lil Walkers.
Yeah.
Lil Walkers are cute.
Yeah, they are.
Oh no, it's Saige cards for Sages.
Yeah, chibi BBs.
Chibi BBs.
Yeah, little chibi BBs. I've seen these.
Chibi BBs.
I'm more likely to buy that than Street Fighter, personally.
Yeah, I see that.
I could definitely see myself buying some foil chibi BBs.
Oh, please. You and the Chibi BBs?
Shiny chibi BBs?
Shiny Chibi BBs?
Yeah, I'd fuck that up. Hold on, let me just... All right, well.
And then Maxter666 in the live studio audience reminds us about that Beetle and Grimm collectible case and mat set that they're doing for the Neon Ninja Dynasty thing.
Yes, they did.
Which we talked about on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
So today's the day. Today's the day if you want to get all that stuff and get it in 23 minutes. 23 minutes.
I'm gonna keep that open. I'm not gonna shop during the show.
No, you would never.
Not again.
You would never.
Not after I was shamed.
Not after all those other times.
One! And I wasn't shopping. I was just looking. Remember that time you bought a Game Boy during the show? Because I do.
Yeah, and that was everyone benefited from that.
No.
Because it was about video games.
This is Magic cards.
So I wrote it off.
I mean, that I do support.
Finally, in big gaming headlines, Persona 4, Persona 4 Golden, the PC edition, is Steam Deck compatible. It's all come full circle. First, nobody had played Persona 4 Golden because nobody had a PlayStation Vita.
Right.
Then everybody waited and waited for years and years and years for Persona 4 Golden to come out on the PC. But here's the problem with the PC. That ain't a handheld.
No, it is not.
But the Steam Deck is. It's all come around.
Get it back in your hands.
Get it back in your hand. The list of supported games for the Steam Deck just keeps getting longer and longer.
Yeah, it does.
They're getting into more and more people's hands. We're seeing more and more reviews and teardowns and plays of it. I will say, it's not taking the world by storm the way I thought it would.
Agreed. As it gets closer, I don't want to say I get less excited for it because I'm excited for the tech of it, but I get less and less enthused to actually purchase one and play it, if that makes sense.
I think the reality of the size and the price point is really starting to hit home as we get closer.
Right.
People are like, ooh, that is kind of big. And the nice one is kind of $800.
That's the thing. I think it's an $800 handheld, and it's things that I keep seeing the games and being like, hell yeah, I'll probably play it on my PC.
I
think when I'm traveling and when the world feels like a place to take handhelds again, I will be reinvigorated with how fucking cool the Steam Deck is going to be. But I think I'm a little bit beat down by the fact that it's been so many months of talking about the Steam Deck and we're still inside.
I'm still inside.
You know?
If I was living life pre-demi and I was on a plane twice a week, I would be so excited for it.
Right.
Because like, look, you go somewhere, it's this big, you can hook it up to the TV in the hotel, you can bring a controller with you.
Yeah.
It's like a Switch, but it plays like every single goddamn thing.
Right.
But Cognoggin brought up something that's very interesting in the live studio audience, which is I have a perfectly capable Android handheld now that can do Steam Link and Moonlight and PlayStation Remote Play and all that stuff. And it was a $200 handheld.
Which one is this one?
I have the AYN Odin.
Ah, the Odin, right.
And the Odin plays a lot of stuff just on its own. It's like a real beefy emulation machine. And then game streaming is so good right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sort of like I don't feel like I need it as much as I did when it came out. And I have the little baby boy on pre-order, the 4 Hundo.
Yeah.
You remember when I put the 4 Hundo on?
Right, which is mostly about storage space.
I
think they're all equally powered. It was just about storage space.
It's about storage space and it's about drive. It's about power.
Right.
But it's also about you can't get the fancy matte like textured screen. It's oh no, the screen's reflective.
Okay.
Which like I don't know. These sound like baby problems to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
They showed the loading times for most games off of an SD card. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
As opposed to like the expensive ones come with the very fast storage.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever. Anthony, not that I'm shopping during the show.
No, you would never shop during the show.
But I did notice as well they're doing an astrology collection.
Oh, dear.
But it's just Aquarius and Capricorn?
Are they going in now? Forgive me.
Also,
by the way, it was a full moon the other night. Did you put your crystals out?
I did.
Okay, good.
I think that might have been a condescending comment, but I mean it.
No, I just asked because I realized I saw somebody tweet about it.
It was a very nice full moon.
Well, that's good. Are they going in some order? Like would Aquarius and Capricorn be first and second in some sort of order?
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually not a huge astrology person. That's not my interest of this. I don't generally follow any kind of astrology. I don't subscribe to it, but it would be a very odd choice.
That's fair.
Anyways, I was just scrolling through and I was like, I mean, if they did have cute Sagittarius cards, I might get some cute Sagittarius cards. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, maybe they're just releasing them one by one or something.
Feels weird.
Feels weird.
All right.
Why is why are some of them so expensive?
Oh, yeah. So, it depends on how limited they are. And
Yeah,
what
but that's
comes
the
in it,
that's the non-foil.
These are just the land.
Woo!
I mean, like, look, if you're building a specifically themed deck and you want to, fill your lands with it, I do think that's kind of cool, but yeah.
So yeah, somebody in the live studio audience, people are saying Capricorn is December through January, which makes sense that it's listed down underneath, and then Aquarius is mainly February. So it looks like they're going in some sort of order. So yours,
you can get a present for your birthday, I guess.
Hey, by the time your birthday comes around,
I've forgotten this happened.
They'll have magic cards for you.
Right. But yeah, those are expensive. They're all lands, but they're very
But the Capricorn
pretty
ones
lands.
are like 30. I just
There's
want to know
different bundles.
Yeah, I want to know what the difference is.
So yeah, it's the number of lands that are in there. This one has 5 lands.
I don't know. I would just get. I mean, because here's the thing: they aren't for official play. Like you could play with your friends, but they aren't for like no. You can't use secret Lair cards in any kind of tournament or anything. So I would just buy like whatever comes with like one of each art.
But if you're building a deck,
yeah, if you're building,
you would have these as your lands.
Sure,
you might want all your lands to match. That makes sense to me.
I get it, but I'm just saying for fancy limited edition art cards, I probably wouldn't put them in my deck. I'd probably just be like, these are the fancy ones.
Oh no, I would 100% want to put them in my deck, and I would want them all to match. It's unfortunate, but I would want them all to match. So maybe I wouldn't do $160 secret Lair, but man, those little guys.
They're just little guys.
Oh, the little guys are pretty good. Okay.
Back
to the news.
We're gonna move into some industry news. First of all, this whole business with Nintendo shutting down the 3DS and Wii U stores.
Yeah, we talked about this on
whenever the last one was.
Whenever we did a show.
Whenever we did a
Wednesday.
Show. Hey man, what are you, a cop?
A time cop?
What are you, a time cop? If you're Jean-Claude Van Damme, you have to tell me.
Yeah, we talked about it. They are shutting down the 3DS and Wii U stores. We also talked about the kind of like lack of care that people had for it. Games that we thought might be interesting that we were worried about losing.
We dunked on it a little bit because, come on, it's the Wii U.
It's the Wii U.
But at the end, we did say, hey, there are a lot of digital-only games because the 3DS and the Wii U are when Nintendo went heavy into digital.
Right, into the eShop.
And the... Where is the thing? Oh, here we go. The Video Game Preservation Society. Or the Video Game Historical Society. Video Game Historical Preservation of Video Games. The Foundation of Video Game. Historically, Video Game Foundation is due. It's the Video Game History Foundation. They tweeted out, hey, this sucks. And not just because people aren't going to be able to buy things on the Wii Shop or download these things anymore. This is a larger issue that is emblematic of Nintendo.
Yeah.
It says, we understand the business reality that went into this decision. What we don't understand is what path Nintendo expects its fans to take should they wish to play these games in the future. As a paying member of the Entertainment Software Association, Nintendo actively funds lobbying that prevents even libraries from being able to provide legal access to these games. Not providing commercial access is understandable, but preventing institutional work to preserve these titles...
That is very interesting.
...is actively destructive to video game history. And that's a big deal. That's something we don't talk about a lot. Libraries would love to loan you video games. Are you kidding?
Oh my God.
Libraries, if libraries knew
so
that like they could lend out video games and just get kids and families into the library, they would do it.
Let the libraries loan out the video games.
Of course, the reason they don't do this is because in the 80s and 90s when Nintendo was cracking down on video game rentals, they were also trying to crack down on video game lending with the legal argument that while you cannot very easily copy a book or download a car.
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't download a car.
You wouldn't download a Carbie.
Video games are very easily copied. Now, that was a bit... It was disingenuous on Nintendo's part. PC games were more easily copied. It's not like everybody had a ROM dumper at home for Nintendo carts.
Here's a few things. One, PC games, not that easily copied. Your average consumer of games does not know how to do that. And the people who do know how to copy a game can already torrent it. Weren't going to the library to get it. They didn't have to.
King Sassafras in the live studio audience says books aren't that hard to copy. Are you a monk? If you're a monk, you have to tell me. Otherwise, that's entrapment. Can you do beautifully illuminated lettering? Are you Steve Gutenberg, inventor of the Gutenberg press and star of 3 Men and a Baby? It's not easy. It's easy to copy a page of a book. It's not easy to copy an entire book.
You wouldn't download a book.
You wouldn't download a book, would you? You wouldn't get a specific device just for downloading a book, would you?
I felt like granola bar time.
There's no granola in these at all.
I felt like granola bar time.
Look. People are saying Quasi 79 Foo understood the joke.
You did it.
You did it. So look. Some people are saying, hey, here in my country, in Finland, like somebody just said, in Finland, we can rent video games from the library. Somebody's saying their library has Xbox and PlayStation games. Yes, they do, because nobody's going to want to fuck with Nintendo. But I'll tell you this. Nintendo actively fights against that stuff. Nintendo also is the hardest on ROM sites and fan projects.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo just sent a man to prison.
Right.
and put out a congratulatory tweet about it. So, I mean, you know.
Right.
Nintendo is definitely not about, and this is what's interesting to me, is like, this is a valid question. This is a valid question where all of the Flash games are gone, and people are like, they're gone. We have to, you know, people are trying to preserve them and to collect them, but like, we've lost so much of the internet. We've lost so much of our digital history. And video games are a huge part of that. An analysis run by
Dagger's drinking so much water.
Dagger's drinking so much water. An analysis shows that around 2,000 games are currently available on the eShops, and about 1,000 games that are digital only and only to Nintendo platforms will literally disappear. Not all of these are Nintendo games, by the way.
Right.
Some of these are games by other independent studios, smaller studios.
They were published on the eShop.
Yeah. Games that simply the publishers and the developers don't exist anymore. These games can disappear. There are 450 digital-only Wii U games. There are 600 digital-only 3DS games. There are also 530 virtual console games. The virtual console will disappear once this is gone.
Right.
350 of those virtual console games are not available on Nintendo Switch Online. So first of all, any digital downloads that you have access to, if you still have a 3DS or a Wii U, anything that's in your library, I would say download it right now.
Yep.
I would say download it right now. Make sure you have it.
Now, a reminder, you have a year until this takes effect. It is March 2023 that this goes into effect. So you do have the time to get your games. Get your games.
Get you. Yeah, so May 23rd. No. You're right. I just want to say from May 23rd, you cannot use credit cards in the stores. So you can still buy stuff now. Buy stuff while you can. And then on August 29th, you won't be able to buy eShop cards anymore either. Which, like, I'm trying to remember the last time I saw an eShop card. I guess you can get them at GameStop, probably.
Like how you have to go to GameStop to buy a Steam gift card?
You gotta just, if you pull on a specific Funko Pop on the wall of a GameStop,
Mm-hmm.
a secret passage opens up and you can find the games.
A bunch of plushies fall to either side. The pathway part. The only reason that people are going to GameStop is to buy gift cards. I'm sorry.
How many people are buying those Funko Pops? That's what I want to know.
What's up, Dagger?
He's been weird all morning.
Is it a day that you would like to be held up here on the show?
I do want to show off some of the highlights. Producer Dagger, a good producer.
Sometimes your producer just needs a little bit of attention. As also a producer, I understand.
It's important to let your producer know they're doing a good job every once in a while. You know? Producers are people too, even when they're dogs.
No further questions. Okay, should we move into some business?
Well, first I wanted to show off some of these exclusives that you might want to get your hands on while you still can.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
First of all, the Phoenix Wright game for the 3DS, Dual Destinies. Pushmo.
I never played Pushmo.
Pushmo's gonna go away. Pushmo freaking sold the 3DS. Pushmo is an adorable puzzle game by HAL Labs,
That is adorable.
where there are little children stuck in playground block equipment, and you play a guy named Mallow who's got to get them out. It had a level editor. You could share levels with your friends.
Oh, that's great.
It's such a, and in the 3D effect was so good. It was such a good intro to the 3DS, and it's still a great puzzle game.
He really finds he turned around. Zach really finds his light, you know what I mean?
Oh,
He perfectly placed himself right in between us. He was facing the other direction.
he knows how to work his angles. He really does.
Damn.
Dylan's Rolling Western. This was like Nintendo tried to make a whole new franchise about this cool cowboy armadillo.
I remember this.
And it was like a mix of action game and tower defense. And I fucking hate tower defense, so I didn't get into it at the time. But I gotta say, it's a good take on tower defense in action.
It's so interesting because it feels like it's been so long since Nintendo has done something like that where they're like, oh, we're just going to try and make a whole new franchise with a new, like, cutesy mascot character.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because we didn't appreciate this good armadillo or Rusty from Rusty's Real Deal Baseball.
That's probably why.
The Ben Jack in the live studio audience is saying, while just a gimmick, I love the 3D effect of the new 3DS. You know, it is a gimmick, and it's not. As somebody who only gave up their 3D television by force and under duress a couple years back, I think 3D is a gimmick for TV and movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3D for video games makes so much sense.
I agree that it makes sense. I don't like it for me.
That's fair.
3D just like doesn't vibe with me. It doesn't make me feel good.
Even the glasses list, like the Nintendo?
Yeah, I look at it and it does not enhance my experience.
That's fair.
Glasses list makes me often just have a terrible headache. But even, with glasses, I often have a terrible headache. But even glasses list, I look at this and it's a little just like disorienting for me.
That's fair. I get
but
that.
I also understand that maybe it's just my busted eyeballs don't like 3D all that much.
Fluidity was another great one.
Mm-hmm.
This used the motion controls of the 3DS along with the 3D. It did good things. It was a lovely puzzle game. You got to tilt and make the water, like the actual fluid dynamics of the water, solve puzzles for you.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Everything for a while, you remember everything on the 3DS shop and the Wii U shop just looked like a Flash game for a while. Like people weren't sure whether they wanted to spend money yet.
Yeah. I mean, I look at this and I think of like Scribblenauts.
Yes.
God, I love Scribblenauts. But yeah, that's something with motion controls, so it is going to be hard to emulate.
This one, I'm so pissed this didn't take off. I love the Denpa Men. The Denpa Men was, you take your 3DS out into the world, and you can scan QR codes, or as you pass Wi-Fi networks, different Wi-Fi networks, you would unlock new Denpa men.
Oh, it's Pokemon Go.
Yeah, but it had more functionality than Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go just randomly places Pokemon. This is like every time you pass a new Wi-Fi signal, it can be like, you can catch a Denpa man.
I want to see what the game actually looked like. Because this commercial is fucking weird.
Yeah.
I don't like these grown men. Okay.
So
that's
it uses
very different.
Yeah, it uses the camera. So it places the Denpa men in the world, and then you catch them. And then once you catch them, you play little mini games with them.
I'm looking at this commercial, and I can't imagine why this game didn't find mass market success.
Listen, that commercial, it was a little too Japanese for the time, but I think it makes a lot of sense now. Look at these good Denpa men. I love them.
I can't imagine why.
It's so weird and good. They just list Box Boy, Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. There was a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, of course, my very, very favorite, Attack of the Friday Monsters.
Yeah.
About a boy who moves from the big city to a small town outside of Tokyo and finds out that every Friday, kaiju attack the city. They don't get near it, but kaiju fight near the little town.
Well, aliens and stuff.
Yeah, and they got to figure out the mystery of it. And God, it's such a beautiful game. It's made by the same people who make the Boku no the Vacation Story games for the PlayStation that never came out over here, where you're just a little boy on vacation that has to like find bugs and meet neighbors and shit.
Oh, okay.
But this had like a little bit more plot and a few more adventure mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
It was very good. I love this game very much, and if you have a chance to download it and play it before the store goes offline, I highly recommend this one.
Shrewd Numbers. I'm so sorry. I've dyscalculated. I'm not going to read it. In the live studio audience asked, is there a good 3DS emulator?
You know, I'll tell you this. If you have legally backed up copies of your software which you own, I would say that Citra is your way to go.
Yeah.
Which is available for the PC and for Android handhelds, and emulates a lot, if not all, of the special functionality of the 3DS. That's what I would say.
Huh.
But of course, we would never.
We
wouldn't download a Carboni.
Download a game. All right, now let's get into some business news. It was nice to talk about sweet little 3DS games.
Yeah, I wanted to do it because I looked at the rest of our news.
Yeah. We're going to have good news once we get back into like movies and TV and stuff, but we're going to go through a little bit of business news. We're going to talk about one of our least favorite people to talk about. We're going to talk about Bobby Kotick.
Just take your money and go. You made your money. Just take it and go, Bobby Kotick. Just take it and go.
Go away. Disappear forever. Go into a volcano.
You won, but we don't have to like you.
No, of course we fucking don't. So, essentially, Bobby Kotick has had a secret company, an LLC, an organization, whatever, to funnel money through and secretly back a bunch of Republican candidates, putting tons of money. He spent $500,000 two times through two separate checks, the Senate Leadership Fund, during the 2020 election cycle, backing Republican candidates.
On like Mitch McConnell, like on some of the most ghastly of ghouls. Just awful. He put a lot of money into flipping blue states red. He with real garbage candidates. He's not good, that Bobby Kotick. I'm gonna call. Hey, Saige.
Yeah.
This might be the hottest take, and I don't care what kind of blowback we get. I gotta say it. I think Bobby Kotick isn't good.
Bobby Kotick.
Oh shit!
Thank you.
We're like Bub and Bob up here.
Look, are we surprised? No, not really, right? Like, he's a terrible person. Of course, he politically supports other terrible people. He is in the, top 1% of America finance. Of course, he's supporting candidates that are pushing things that benefit the rich, harm the poor, and depress marginalized individuals, because that's what he literally does every day at work. Every day he gets up and he thinks of three ways that he can benefit the rich, harm the poor, and oppress marginalized people.
He has a little journal, and in the beginning of the day, you have to write down 3 things you're grateful for, and 3 people you want to get back in touch with, and then 3 ways you want to crush the working class.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice little journal. Like,
And
you
he's
can get
been
them.
doing his journaling.
Yeah, it's lovely, and it just helps you clear your mind and do evil.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Purely.
Yeah. He has 2 LLCs. One's called Norgate LLC. The other one is called, I don't know. It's some garbage company. Look, he has 2 garbage companies, and he was trying to hide the fact that they were his.
Mhm.
He's not listed anywhere on them, but he's listed on like a filing, and then one company owns the other company, and he owns the first company, and like it's connected to a mailbox that's connected to another one of his companies. And like, here's the thing. The wealthy people, executives, celebrities, all of the anybody you know and recognize, parasocially,
Mhm.
they do shit like this.
Yes.
It's common practice.
A spokesperson for Bobby Kotick came out and was like, excuse me. He co-chairs the Call of Duty Foundation, which, in support of veterans, supports a lot of Democratic candidates. So it all kind of balances out. He's probably given an equal amount to both parties.
Yeah, like the Call of Duty Foundation has actually, number 1, the Call of Duty Foundation is not his money.
Correct.
And number 2, it absolutely has not. I bet if we compare them, wasn't the Call of Duty Foundation trying to sell NFTs for like 10% goes to charity? Didn't we report on that? It was like art from Call of Duty. Fuck that, man.
Yeah.
And fuck the glorification of war anyway. Oh, he uses the glorification of war to give $20,000 to one candidate you like. Dope.
Super cool.
That's so dope, man. Thanks for that. Anyway, Bobby Kotick sucks.
Fuck Bobby Kotick. Always and forever.
Oh, I thought did I not put the Elon Musk tweet in here?
You did not. I didn't see the Elon Musk tweet.
Well, it's a tweet that he deleted. Elon Musk essentially tweeted a picture of Hitler and said, the difference between me and Justin Trudeau is I had a budget.
What did that have to do with Hitler?
He just thought he would compare Justin Trudeau to Hitler and say that Justin Trudeau was somehow as bad as Hitler. Can you imagine any other CEO from any other company just tweeting something like that and everybody being like, that's our Elon? He finally deleted it. Let me see. I think it was Sleeping Giants who saved the tweet. If you don't follow Sleeping Giants is a great follow. They're a media watchdog group that sort of is trying to make sure that people are using media advertising and social platforms, responsibly. So yeah, here it is. Imagine, yeah, and they said basically the same thing. Imagine any other CEO. Stop comparing me to Justin Trudeau. I had a budget. He just tweeted that. And then afterwards,
Not only did he compare the two, he said Hitler did it better.
And then afterwards, he tweeted this after deleting his tweet. Reasons to hate are remembered better than reasons to love. I was at a thing. I was at a gathering. I was watching a friend had some people over to watch a movie that they've been working on, and one of the people there was trying to explain to me, like, oh yeah, Trump was bad, but like, listen, there's a brilliance in, like, he was just trolling. He was trolling. He figured out the power of trolling, and like nobody's used it on that scale yet. I was like, this is good? You're listing this as a good? Elon Musk is saying shitty things and then being like, I trolled you and now you know who I am, and that's good? Get fucked.
He's a supervillain. Elon Musk is a fucking supervillain.
Like,
he has all of the power and all of the money that the real supervillains have in all of the movies. He really does. He has it already. And then he's out here being a fucking fascist. That's a villain. That's a real villain. If the Auschwitz Memorial has to get on Twitter and reply to you and say using the image of Adolf Hitler and therefore exploiting the tragedy of all the people who suffered, were humiliated, tortured, and murdered by the totalitarian regime of Nazi Germany created by him, is sad and disturbing. It disrespects the memory of all victims, and it hurts many people. And goddamn, are you lucky that the Auschwitz Memorial had to come in and be professional to you.
We're at a very interesting time right now. We're in a transitional time where living memory of certain events is going away, and all we will have left is historical documentation of that memory. And that is a tricky and dangerous time. It is the reason more and more people feel empowered to do things like wear the yellow star because they have to because they're not vaccinated.
And they don't even have to get vaccinated. They just can't come in the restaurant.
Like, you can't do that. Thank God. Like, honestly, thank God my grandparents are no longer alive to see this shit. Because, holy, the shit that they survived, for people to be like, this guy's Hitler, that guy's Hitler on the fucking internet. Or to be like, I'm wearing a yellow star because they wouldn't let me into Bed Bath & Beyond. Get fucked.
Get fucked.
I got the good coupon in the mail, and they wouldn't let me in to use it. Get wrecked.
Here's something, as a Jewish person, I'm exhausted by.
Go on.
Many things. But we're living in a time now.
We're genetically exhausted all the time.
We're living in a time where on a weekly basis, something about the Holocaust is trending on Twitter. Every time I open Twitter within my trending topics, I know part of trending topics is skewed towards me, but there's thousands upon thousands of tweets. It's either Auschwitz, it's either the Holocaust, it's Nazis, right? Fascists, etc. There's always something about it trending, and a lot of the time it rotates between Holocaust and Auschwitz.
Mm-hmm.
Always trending on Twitter. And I just gotta say that's fucking exhausting.
It's exhausting because it's always trending because of dipshits like this.
Exactly, because every time you click on it, it's like literally a bunch of Jewish people on Twitter having to be like, hey, you can't fucking say that, 6 million people, man.
You can't draw that equivalence.
You can't draw that equivalence.
You have to stop.
You can't fucking pose in front of memorials like it's a good selfie spot. You can't do these things, and I don't know why we have to keep getting on Twitter and being like, I shouldn't have to tell you. I shouldn't have to tell you.
A month, just less than a month ago, we had a school system in Tennessee banning mouse. Mouse.
They sure did.
And Mouse, if you haven't read it, Art Spiegelman made a beautiful comic about growing up as the son of somebody who survived the Holocaust, and also tells the story of his father who survived the Holocaust through cartoon cats and mice. And it's one of the most beautiful and realistic stories of the Holocaust you can read. And the Tennessee school system was like, it has some rough stuff in it, and we don't think it's appropriate for children. The Holocaust wasn't appropriate for anybody. That's why you have to learn about it. That's why we get this whitewashed fucking pilgrims and Indians sitting down for Thanksgiving dinner that gets taught in schools for 50 years. You can't do this stuff. You can't do this stuff. Things are unpleasant, but by learning about human unpleasantness, children understand it, and kids who read Mouse do not grow up to put yellow stars on their arms when they're not allowed into the bar on a Friday night.
And not only that, and it's the thing that we get into because there's a larger conversation about critical race theory that they're trying to fight against in schools right now. There are kids like us raised in Jewish families. They
Kids-
don't have a choice.
Kids like us, 40 years old.
They have to grow up learning about the Holocaust because it's the reason I don't know anything beyond my grandparents. It's the reason we can't go on Ancestry and see our family tree, We grow up learning about these things because these are the things that impact us and our families. We don't have a choice.
My grandmother came from a family of 7 kids, and when the Holocaust was over, she had 1 surviving sister. That's a huge portion of my family that just does not exist.
In the same way that there's going to be these conversations where they're pushing against teaching about slavery in school, whereas the Black community is here like, are you fucking kidding me? We have to teach our kids about this. Your kids don't have to know about it. The people who afflicted this on our families, they get to just not hear about it because it's uncomfortable for them.
I had to explain.
Black kids are going to have to grow up knowing and learning about it because that is their history. That is their family.
I had to explain to an Uber driver. First of all, please, Uber drivers, don't get me into political conversations. This was like a couple years ago, but I had to explain to this guy, like, redlining and all this stuff, because he was like, well, I don't know, man, like, I came from another country and I'm just working and I'm doing my best and I'm okay. I'm like, number 1, you came over now. Good time to come over. Number 2, compared to like the 1940s or, the 1800s as a slave. And then number 2, you're white. You're white. And you have one of the European accents that we think is attractive. So I had to explain the idea of redlining, and I was like, okay. And he's like, but that was, how many years ago was that? I was like, dude, those people's parents. Imagine if your dad was like just thrown every single fucking obstacle in the world. What does that do to you? Like, what does that do to you? It takes generations to come back from that stuff.
Yep.
And people just want to be like, well, it's over. Well, it's over, and why do we have to learn about that? I didn't have slaves. No, you didn't have slaves. So why are you so embarrassed? Why are you so embarrassed to teach that we used to have slaves if you don't have slaves? If you're not worried, if you're not doing any of this shit, then cool.
Right.
But we need to learn about it.
Erica L in the live studio audience said, not appropriate for kids to read. Learning about the Holocaust isn't supposed to be fun or comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. Learning about slavery and genocide is not supposed to be comfortable. Kids aren't supposed to read it and then be like, well, in comparison to Island of the Blue Dolphins, I think that it was probably pretty difficult.
Do you know, dude, I bet all of these schools that are banning all these books are going to replace it with the boy in the striped pajamas.
Yep.
You ever read The Boy in the Striped? The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is the dude who wrote this, not Jewish, didn't research the Holocaust, didn't know anything about it, and wrote a really cutesy story about a kid that lived by a fence to a concentration camp, and how he was nice to the boy in the striped pajamas. And this is
my mom never had me read it.
No Jewish family will have anybody. I read it because I read a lot of this stuff because I'm like, what does the world think?
Mm-hmm.
What are people reading? This shit centers the people who are complicit as the victims and as the kind people. This little boy didn't know what his parents were doing. This little boy in the book was only 12. Fuck you. These kids knew. Everybody knew.
And also, like, look.
And if you don't know,
there are innocent 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
That were complicit, but they were 12 and they couldn't end the Holocaust.
And there are kids.
But, like, maybe they're not the center of a Holocaust story.
Maybe they're not the ones to tell the story about.
Maybe and if you don't, a Holocaust story.
And if you don't know what's going on at concentration camps, don't just write what you think maybe happened. Well, they treated him pretty bad, but it was okay because he brought the boy because he was brought a chocolate bar by the boy, who's a good boy. Like, it's so bad. It's so many people that just face history.
It's lazy writing, and it's a thing that still consistently happens, where you used marginalized people's suffering in order to move along the plot point. It's the idea of, like, my biggest complaint about Malignant, for instance. The movie didn't make any fucking sense. But first 5 minutes of the movie, they buy into your sympathy by having you watch a woman get abused.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, so now you get the idea, right? Okay, so now you get that it's bad.
Yeah.
We're going to show you this thing that you're going to have a visceral reaction to because you know it's bad and it's a big bad thing. And instead of us making any kind of like compelling time with these characters, we're going to buy into your sympathy.
We don't have anything to say about it.
Right.
But we're just going to throw it in there.
Right.
We're going to kill a dog and fridge a girlfriend. You know? These are the things. If you're not scared of history and you don't feel like you have any guilt and you are not complicit in history,
teach your kids about history.
then just teach your kids about it.
That's the thing. It's not critical race theory. It's not. That's a bullshit term they are using. It's history.
It's just history.
It's just history. Sincerely, to very, very tired and very angry Jewish people.
Hey, you want to move on to some nicer stuff?
Sure.
Great. This is going to feel a little weird afterwards. But you know what? You know what? Let's shake that off.
Let's shake it off.
And I want to start with like a very good, very silly anecdote that I think will pull us out of this.
Okay.
The Spider Boys.
Uh-huh.
That very good Spider movie.
Uh-huh. Is it time for that now?
It's been months.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you haven't heard yet, I don't know how.
Fair.
But here's the thing. The Spider movie is now number 1. It passed the Blue Cat movie in terms of total dollars.
All right.
Isn't that exciting? It made more than the Blue Cat movie.
Good for Spider-Man.
But the biggest thing, this was hilarious. Hey, if you wanna come back in like 30 seconds, that's cool. But Andrew Garfield and Charlie Cox apparently were so worried while they were shooting the Spider Boys.
Yes, about getting identified as having been there.
That they ate lunch. They were sitting around. Andrew Garfield was telling, or Charlie Cox was telling a story where they were sitting and they were eating lunch. And they were like, yo, we can't even be if people even see that we're in the same city together.
Yeah.
And we're eating lunch together, this is going to cause some shit.
Yeah.
And so every day when they would go to lunch, they would eat lunch facing the wall with their heads down.
So nobody would take a photo and spoil it.
Because they didn't want to ruin it before it came out.
Of course. And hey, look, they fucking nailed it.
Yeah. And Charlie Cox went on the interview to be like, I don't like to lie and I feel terrible lying. Yeah. He's like, but I knew that if I said something like, well, we'll wait and see what happens.
That would be it.
That would be it. It would be over.
Yeah.
That would be it. It would be over. And so
they just ate lunch facing the wall.
They would face the wall and they lied to people and they were like, and they were both like, I felt so bad lying. I don't like lying. And it just made me feel icky. But he was like, I knew that like the damage done by lying would be less than like the disappointment if I gave this away for people.
Yeah.
And he's right, because it's bigger than the Blue Cat movie.
That's very sweet. Okay, I'm gonna put the hands down. We are now A+ on no spoilers. Let's talk about some big news. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm on the wrong spreadsheet. There we go. You know what? One of the big things that was announced yesterday was Stranger Things 4.
Yeah.
Stranger Things Season 4 is coming. It will be split into 2 parts. We did get a release date. Volume 1 will premiere on May 27th, with Volume 2 to follow on July 1st.
Now, of course, we knew this was coming, but we didn't know the dates.
Yep. I didn't know it was going to be split in 2 either.
No, we didn't know that either.
Yeah.
So, Netflix is doing some interesting stuff. Like, they've been doing the splitting seasons into front halves, back halves.
Yeah.
And then they've also been experimenting with things like, hey, maybe you just get to watch 1 episode a week, like regular TV.
I like the front half, back half.
I do too.
Because I like a small binge where I'll watch like 2 episodes and then I'll watch 2 episodes again. 1 a week is tough for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't get a lot of time, and then when I do, I'm like, I'm going to cram.
It's tough for me to remember, and it's tough for me to stay interested at once a week for some things.
I agree.
So I also like the front half, back half. They also released these very good posters.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Netflix calls them posters. because like
They're not
they're
posted
not really
anywhere.
they don't really get posted much of anywhere. When Bebop came out, I got in touch with my friend who works over at Netflix, and I was like, "You have any of those Bebop character posters?
Mhm.
If you have any of them at all, you send me those posters. If you have any printed material."
Yeah.
And she was like, I mean, I think we printed one set of them for
Mhm.
like a convention.
Uh-huh.
She said, but I don't think we have any of them.
Right.
And I was like, oh, just fucking give me the original file. But we got 4 posters. It seems like we're split into 4 different groups doing 4 different things, at least 4.
We're splitting the party, everybody.
Don't split the party.
We're splitting the party.
Do not split the party.
All right, let's see the next one.
So this is the first one with Joyce and Hopper in a Russian prison. This is somebody that we don't know yet. In the secret lab.
Okay.
Where all the children's are made.
Right.
This is
the kids.
This is our OG crew in the Creel house, which is like the haunted mansion.
They added a lot more
They got
ladies.
new kids.
Yeah.
Well, they added
girls.
Mad Max last season,
Yeah.
who I absolutely love.
Is that her in the bottom left?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's I think a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
That's a few seasons ago because that's right where I left off. I'm not caught up on Stranger Things. I think I watched 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay. Did she show up? Yeah, she might have showed up in 2. You're right.
I think she might have showed up in 2. I
Um.
remember her and her brother.
Yeah. We also have the bad brother. Looks like the bad brother is with them now. That's
Is that the
fun.
bad brother? No.
I think that
That's
might
not
be...
bad brother.
Yeah.
That's Hair. That's gotta be
Oh,
Hair.
that's Steve.
Yeah, that's Steve.
That's
Hair.
Steve.
You know.
And then we have this 4th crew here.
It was like the older kids?
Yeah. Oh,
Is it Robin? I haven't met Robin yet.
it looks like Mike might be there.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Well, there wasn't all of the boys in the kids group.
Yeah.
There was only a couple.
Yeah, it looks like 2 of them went on a road trip and the other 2 stayed behind.
Very interesting.
And then it all comes together into this poster, which I love. That's a good poster.
Yeah, that's great. I love this. I'm very excited. I actually there's a Stranger Things pop-up here in LA at the Americana.
Mhm.
And I went into it. And it was really cute. And all of a sudden I was like, fuck, I really liked Stranger Things.
I missed. They did the Scoops Ahoy
Yeah.
ice cream shop here in LA.
I think they consistently have a Scoops Ahoy at Universal.
They probably do. Yeah.
I think it's downstairs at Universal. I think it's like a permanent Scoops Ahoy.
They had a pop up. They had the Starcourt Mall. They set up some. That may have been what you went to, but they had like almost a full Starcourt Mall set up at one
There
point.
is a store on
Uh-huh.
the Americana, and I think it's like semi-permanent now. I think it was originally supposed to be a short-term pop-up, but it's been there for months.
That's cool.
And it's just a cute little Stranger Things store.
And then there was a drive-through experience last Halloween, which was like impossible to get tickets to.
Yeah, I tried.
Me too. And but I like all the things that they're doing. Netflix does some interesting things for marketing. I like weird pop-ups and experiences like that.
It definitely made me want to get back into it. In other announcements of new seasons, we already have an announcement for the 2nd season of Peacemaker. This does not come as a surprise to me. Peacemaker has done so well. I have not watched it yet.
It was such a surprise, not this announcement, but the show.
Is it done?
I've said this before. I believe the season finale is this week.
Ooh.
Peacemaker is so good, and I didn't think I was going to like it.
Yeah, you and I talked about it early on about how, like, we thought John Cena fucking crushed it in Suicide Squad, but it was going to be tough to watch that character a lot. And it sounds like they did it.
It's so good, and the supporting cast is so brilliant, and it's so funny
Yeah.
and clever, and it adds in. James Gunn has just taken all the liberties. Like, he's throwing characters into the script just as like asides, like DC characters.
People are saying the finale is already out.
Oh, great. Then what? I need to watch it. It's so good, Saige.
That's great.
I can't believe how good it is.
In other shows, Amazon just signed a deal to produce Disco Elysium and Life is Strange shows.
That's cool.
Fascinating. Now, a Life is Strange show, I definitely see. Like, Life is Strange is kind of already a show. It lends itself very well to that. And, like, Disco Elysium story-wise makes sense for that, but I'm surprised that it has the popularity for Netflix to pick up.
You know, it
Right
might not,
now.
It might not be that it has the popularity. It might just have kind of like a cool cult sort of cachet, and there will be people who watch the show and don't know that there was a video game. I think it's one of those properties for Netflix.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I
it's
think
not
that's
like
really Amazon.
or Amazon. It's not like an Arcane where it's like, this is the League of Legends show. It's more like, oh, that game has a really cool and interesting story and world. Let's develop a show around it.
Which is very interesting. DJ2 is doing some very, very interesting stuff because there was also a deal signed recently for a potential adaptation of It Takes Two, which I don't want.
No.
I don't want an adaptation of parents fighting. I had that at home.
It's already, but the other thing about It Takes Two is like it's already an animated movie.
Yeah, the story happened.
Like
They're gonna get divorced again?
they're gonna get divorced more.
Right?
Yeah, DJ2 is doing some interesting stuff. They're the company that co-produced the Sonic the Hedgehog movies.
Mhm.
They do really interesting and wild stuff with games, so it makes sense that they're expanding into that. I do want to.
Mhm.
There was some follow-up John Cena news,
Oh, okay.
which is very interesting. John Cena is going to be in a movie called Coyote versus Acme for Warner Brothers. It's exactly
live action CG animation hybrid.
It's exactly what you think it is. After all these years, Wile E. Coyote is suing the Acme Corporation for defective products. And John Cena, okay, and he gets a lawyer, and John Cena plays the evil lawyer representing the Acme Corporation.
Fuck, that's so funny.
Who is the ex-boss of the lawyer representing Wile E. Coyote.
I'm in.
That's such a good movie idea.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
This is what Disney thought they were doing with Rescue Rangers.
See, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, now this is the Roger Rabbit movie.
This is Roger Rabbit.
This is the Roger Rabbit energy that they did not capture with Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
It's not just like Roger Rabbit was cartoons are celebrities and they're real, but that wasn't the whole thing.
Right.
The whole thing was, and they're wrapped up in a larger mystery.
Yes.
This is animated characters are real and they are affecting the lives of normal human people, and it's a individual versus corporation story. It's a little guy versus big guy story.
Yeah.
They get it, man. It's
I mean,
very good.
If done well, and this is already a great start, I'm so excited about this.
It's going to be directed by David Green, who directed Earth to Echo, which was very cute, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Interesting.
Screenwriter Sammy Birch is the person who wrote the last draft of the script, and it's based on a New Yorker article from 1990.
James Gunn is also producing.
Yeah. James Gunn is producing. John Cena's in it. James Gunn and John Cena are now best bros. And I don't think if Cena doesn't show up in Guardians 3, I will be shocked.
Yeah.
I will be shocked. It will be because Marvel said absolutely not. No DC
no
people in Marvel.
Peacemaker, yeah.
But they're boys.
And we are out of time, but I still have to get to this.
No, this is important.
This is the last thing. This is the perfect thing to end on. We have another story we will put on the Patreon, so don't worry. But
get on that Patreon.
Get on that Patreon because we did something very fun for the Patreon today. But everybody, John Williams will return to Star Wars for the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme. Obi deserves it. Obi-Wan deserves it.
Now, of course, John Williams. I almost said John Cena. John Williams, of course, scored the main themes for Rise of Skywalker for all the sequel films.
Yeah.
But for Disney Plus, it's been Ludwig Göransson, who's been doing an amazing job on The Mandalorian and on Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And of course, for the films that are the non-Skywalker films, you had like John Powers doing the solo.
Right.
So, but this is a real. I don't know. This says a lot about Obi-Wan, right? That John Williams came back for this.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You look at the series that we've gotten so far, right? I don't think we've gotten anything for Disney Plus that's about as influential of a character in the Star Wars fandom, not necessarily the Star Wars actual universe, as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like,
oh, but
it's
also
fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I mean, also but I think you can also say in the canon in the story as well.
Yeah, I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi's a pretty fucking big deal. It was one of those shows that, like, when they first started doing the Disney Plus things, we were hoping for, and I would have said, I don't know if we'll do a Disney Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi story.
When we were doing the Star Wars show, some of the people in the office knew before I did. I would be like, and I would be saying things around the office like, "There's no way, man. It would be so great." But I mean, like, it's a bummer that there's no way it would happen. And then I started noticing people going like, and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything if you don't say anything. But is it? I don't want to jinx it, but is it?
God damn. I'm so fucking excited about this. I literally, like, I think the Obi-Wan series is the most excited I've been for any piece of media in a very long time. It's one of those things I've been asking for since I was a kid.
Ewan McGregor is just so fucking likable.
I love Ewan McGregor in this house.
He's just so likable and young, and his take on the young Obi-Wan. And now we're getting the Obi-Wan that's like seen some shit.
I'm so excited.
This is gonna be so good. And of course, like, we know that Hayden Christensen is back.
Yes.
Which is wild.
Yes.
Which is wild. Yes. Are we going to get some helmet on, helmet off stuff? I don't know. But here's what I do know. John Williams said, all right.
John Williams is in, and they are treating this with the care that it needs and deserves.
He said he was done. John Williams said he was out. He said, nah, man, I'm retired.
Yep.
There's no way I'm getting back into that shit again. And then they knocked on his door and they said, John, you're the only one. You're the only one that can do this. And he put his conductor's baton into his holster and he got his symphony badge.
Yeah.
And he put it on and he went back on the force.
And that's a lovely place to leave you. I will say it is Marvelous Miss Maisel Day as well. The first 2 episodes are out. It's not getting great reviews so far, but I feel like Marvelous Miss Maisel is always greatly undercredited. I'm a huge fan. It's one of my favorite shows.
I will say this was a concern that I had in the beginning of the series. They're at a point now where, like, they have to involve so many anachronistically famous people where I'm like, so Midge knows all these people and we don't know Midge? This is a little weird.
Disagree.
I don't know, but, like, that's the only thing that throws me off. I still think the show is wonderful.
Personally disagree. I think it's a perfect show and I love it very, very much. I love the current cast. I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
I was surprised by how much I loved Zachary Levi in it. I mean, it shouldn't be because Zachary Levi is so lovable.
Yes. That's who plays God, what's his name?
He's the big hunky doctor.
Oh God, Zachary Levi was wonderful. Yeah, Shazam.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Fucking phenomenal in the series. I'm thinking of God, what's his name? The sweet skeezy comedian guy.
Oh, Lenny Bruce. The guy who plays Lenny Bruce.
Lenny Bruce is the love of my life.
Lenny Bruce is amazing. But, like, I haven't watched the most recent season. Like, Lenny Bruce's life goes in some bad places. Have they started touching on that?
Hard to say. Lenny Bruce is the love of my life, everyone. That is where we will leave you for today. We have a very exciting story for the Patreon today. We are gonna go yell, but like in we're gonna get weird. It's gonna get weird over there today.
Let's get weird.
Let's get weird. Thank you so much to everybody who stopped by the show today. We do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at exactly 8 a.m. Pacific. And if it is not 8 a.m. Pacific where you are, please get your clock fixed and report the proper authorities.
Yeah, because we're always on time,
with
baby. Hey, Saige.
Yes.
If, like, people were looking for you when you're not doing this show, where would they find you?
An excellent question. You can find me on the internet everywhere at Not Saige or stream on my channel. In theory, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, but it's been a busy month, so I've been a little bit MIA. I will be back very, very soon.
River City Girls came out. We have to play it.
Oh, fuck, you're right. God, there's too many games. You can also find me on the Smosh Games channel all the damn time. You can find me next week once again on the Crown channel here on Twitch, hosting Arcade. This place tonight. It's Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. You can find me here. for Failed Save. I hope you will come back and join us. Failed Save is our D&D 5e comedy show. It's available on podcast. It's available on Twitch. It's available on YouTube. And we play D&D together, and it's very good.
Woo, baby.
Anthony, where can they find you?
Well, obviously tonight, playing that very good Bird Monk
Yes.
on Failed Save.
You're so right.
But also, for the rest of the time, you can find me everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. Today is Friday. Go listen to my science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata. It's called We Have Concerns, and it's very good. You know, like wherever finer donuts are sold, usually, you can find me there.
I've found him there many times.
Maybe even like after this show. I don't know.
Thank you to everyone who supported us during the show. We are going to go down and do a little bit of a roll call. There's so many ways that you can support us. The people who followed the channel, we appreciate you so much. People who have already been here. The people who have been showing up. We've been doing this show for, I don't know, it's going to be 2 years in the summer. We're like a year and a half. Kind of wild.
2 years in the summer is my favorite Death Cab for Cutie song.
So thank you to everybody who's been here. New World, we love you and we appreciate you so much. Join the Discord. It's free. You can support us on Patreon for $5 a month and you get a bonus clip every week. But hey, let's thank some of these BBs.
Sure.
Who did some fun stuff during the show.
Chris Jean, thank you for gifting a sub to Snow Big Deal 1692. Lots of kittens resubbing for 11 months saying, thank you, Saige and Anthony, for making the best morning show on the internet. Only morning show on the internet, really. And being all around very good beans. Well, thank you for saying so. That's very kind of you. Martinis for 2 at 6 with $5. Thank you. Danny Boy's Calling Pipes giving a sub to Death and Saints. Thank you very much. Righty and M for 14 months. Thank you so much for your unwavering support. You are a beautiful ray of light. Ronan Monkey tipping the 2113 saying holiday weekend sugar breakfast, and yes, I am doing this to mess with the numbers. Bless you for it. And also, you're a mod. You don't have to do that.
Ooh.
Everybody thank our mods. Skywalker 9982 gifting 2 subs and then another 5 subs on top of that, giving the lucky 7 subs. Chafrikas with the resub for 3 months saying manifesting not tires. Maybe not tired. Manifesting not tired.
Yeah, tires are fine. Tired, no.
Oh, please. Please just, I want to manifest that my tires are fine. I don't want to manifest that I don't have tires. Kaylin Roar cheering, thank you so much, saying, oh, hey, it's one of these things. It sure is, buddy. EDoc333 with the resub for 6 months. That's a long time. I think you like us. Dave Boy gifted a tier 1 sub to Eris509. Thank you, and you are trapped here now. THL Katrina, thank you for the bits. Harry Horror Show with the resub saying, I swear to God, if y'all ever start on time, I'm unsubbing. We always start on time, Harold. Excuse me, Harold.
Time.
We're never not on time. A wizard arrives precisely at 8 a.m. That's what they said. Shiny Marigold with the resub for 11 months saying, 11 months of the best and only morning news show relative to my interests. Carry on. As your copy editor, I would say you could just say best and only morning show.
Yeah.
We don't, doesn't matter your interests. We're literally the only ones doing this. G-Rex13 with the resub for 12 months. Thank you so much for all of that. You are all lovely people. Remember, your subscriptions go to funding this entire channel and all of our endeavors. Things we need. We need a camera. We need lights. We need computers. You're helping pay for all of that. Your donations and your bits go directly to whoever you see on screen at the time that you donate them. So thank you for giving that to us. We are not gainfully employed. We have no skills and no job. So this money really helps.
No prospects.
No prospects. We got nothing.
We love you so much.
I have one cool jacket, and that's it.
Thank you for starting your morning with us. Take care of yourselves. You deserve it. And we'll see you over on the Patreon. Bye, BBs.
Bye, BBs.